I'm Michael Fox, and this is the Prospector News Podcast. And I am joined today by Robert MacDonald, the Vice President of Exploration for Southern Silver Exploration. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Thank you very much, Michael. I'm glad to be here and on online or on the airwaves with you.
Yeah, it's you and I have been trying to do this, but we keep getting usurped by the CEO wanting to hog the mic all the time. So it's good to have you on this time for a change.
Excellent, and as I said, it's a pleasure to be here and get a good chance to catch up.
Absolutely. Now, for our listeners who may not be familiar with Southern Silver Exploration, let's give them the elevator pitch and the overview of the company and what they're doing and where they're doing it.
Okay, well, thank you. And yes, Southern Silver is a Vancouver-based junior exploration company. We have projects located in Mexico and southern New Mexico. We've been operating for I think since around 2005 under as Southern Silver. Our flagship project is our Cerro Lss Minitas project, which is currently one of the largest and highest grade undeveloped primary silver projects in the world. It has indicated and inferred resources totaling over 300 million silver equivalent ounces in both the indicated and the inferred categories. And so this is been the focus of our work for the last several years. We have updated the economics on the project. We released a PEA, or the results of the PEA, in early June, and in the coming days we'll be filing the final technical report on the Cerro Lss Minitas project with CDAR. So it is certainly something to look forward to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we are going to talk about that PEA. That's the reason I've had you onto the show today. But before we go down that road, let's talk a little bit more about Cerro Lss Minitas and where it's located in Mexico and exactly what kind of a project it is.
Okay, then. Cerro Lss Minitas is located in southeast Durango. It sits within the heart of the Faja de Plata, or Belt of Silver, of north central Mexico. The project is extremely well located, just 70 kilometers to the northeast of the city of Durango. This project features excellent infrastructure. We have 2 federal highways running through the property. There's a rail line running through the property. There's a power line running right through the property. The area of the Cerro where we have our mineral resources is located just 6 kilometers north of the town of Guadalupe, Victoria, which acts as our base of operations. And so it's a very easy run to get in and out of the project. The project itself, as I said, it's located in southeast Durango, and it's located in the Altiplano, or the interior plateau of north central Mexico. This means the project is not in the mountains, so we're not in the Sierra Madres. We're located east of there in the Altiplano. And as I like to joke, we're out amongst the bean fields, not the marijuana fields. So it does make the project very safe for operating in, with very minimal security involved. Really, the only security that we have on the project is a watchman to prevent, pilfering and some stealing off the property. But other than that, it's in an open area out on the plateau, and as I say, an excellent place to be doing business in.
Yeah, Durango State is a very good jurisdiction in Mexico to be working in. And yes, you're right. You're in the agricultural area of the state rather than the narco area. So that's also a very good thing. So let's talk about this PEA, because the economics of this project keep getting better and better and better. Let's break down the highlights and talk further about what it means for the company.
Well, yes, we released the project economics in on June 10th of this year. This work was an update of an earlier PEA that we released on the project in 2022. When that came out, we felt that there were still a few things that could be done to optimize the project. So over the last 18 months, we've been putting those things into effect. And as a result, we've been able to come out with a base case for the PEA with an after-tax NPV at a 5% discount of $501 million US and an internal rate of return of 21.2%. This outlines a large-scale mining operation with a 17-year mine life and an annual average plant feed of over 14 million ounces silver equivalent, and a life of mine feed totaling 242.7 million ounces silver equivalent. These include, just on a silver alone basis, annual feed of 5.8 million ounces of silver, and feed of life of mine feed of 98.6 million ounces of just silver, as well as base metals and a little bit of gold. So again, this is a very, very significant project. The life of mine sales total 194 million ounces silver equivalent, and the all-in sustaining costs come in at a quite reasonable $13.23 US per ounce silver equivalent. This is a high revenue project with base case gross revenues totaling 4.5 billion US, with silver and gold representing 45% of the total revenues, and zinc representing 35% of the projected revenues. The initial capex is 388 million US, and the NPV at a 5% discount to the capex ratio is 1.3 times. The project also features a paydown of 48 months. So these were fairly significant milestones to reach in the project. We were able to increase the life of mine by 5 million tons, which was around a 20% increase over the previous PEA. Our increased daily mine production is up to 5,300 tons per day. Again, that's up from 4,800 tons per day. Again, just under a 20% increase. The life of mine is extended by 2.6 years, and the life of mine revenues have increased by $765 million US. We've increased the after-tax NPV at the 5% discount by 45%, up to that 501 million US, and similarly being able to increase the internal rate of return by 3.3% to that 21.2. So with the new economics in place, work continues to otherwise de-risk the project, and prepare the project for a development decision, as well as continued resource expansion, as we believe that there is still relatively low-hanging fruit to be delineated in the area of the Cerro.
Those are all really exciting numbers, and it leads me to a number of questions. The first one would be the cost of silver. What was the target price for the silver that you guys are factoring into your financial calculations?
Yes, the base case metal prices use $23 silver, 18.50 gold, $4 copper, $1 lead, and $1.25 zinc.
And how far out did the numbers go? Like, $23 silver. Did you have 24, 25, 26? How far away out did you go for those numbers?
We looked at a base case plus 20% on the metal prices, which would be 27.60 silver, 22.20 for gold. Copper is $4.68, lead is $1.20, and zinc is $1.50. So, I mean, right now we're under in terms of the base case numbers for both gold and silver are probably now 30% higher in terms of spot prices, while the base metal prices are probably about flat. What that ends up doing is that for every, and that's as I said, around 30%. What we've identified in the sensitivities that for every 5% increase in your silver value, you add another $40 million to your NPV at the 5% discount. So, looking at it in terms of, where we might be sitting with silver prices right now, you could, as a rule of thumb, suggest, what is it, 6 times that, so about another $240 million to the NPV of the project based on spot prices.
And again, that just makes this case even better. Was there a rough calculation in how quickly that increased the payoff from the 48 months that were in the base case?
It would drop it down to, from the 4 years down to 3 years is what we would be looking at.
Again, all good numbers. Now you talk about risks. You are in Mexico. There's been a change, well, sort of a change in government. There's been a change of presidents, but it's the same party.
Yes.
And they're looking to redo a lot of their mining rules and regulations. And the most alarming of those changes is the potential of not permitting open pit mining. Now, your project is an underground mine, is it not?
Yes, that is correct.
So if they do go down that road, it's not likely to have any effect on you.
We don't believe so. There's various changes that were coming in the mining code. I think a number of them were focused on environmental changes, and effectively, as it was described to us, that a number of these changes were brought in based on Mexico being a signatory on the Paris Accord. And so they had to sort of up their environmental standards across the country. That doesn't concern us to any great extent. One, because we are an underground mine, it's not and so we should avoid the prohibition on the open pit mining by that account. We're also using dry stack tailings in turn, so no longer using tailings dams or tailings ponds. We have options within the planning to maybe shift more to electrical equipment as opposed to the diesel equipment that we have. As well as through the dry stack tailings, we will end up recycling a large portion of the water that's required to do the processing, which is also in keeping with the new mining laws. So, we think what we've done is put together a project that's sort of that would be a North American mine, quote unquote. And so impacts by stricter environmental regulations, we don't feel will affect us as much as maybe some other projects that are out there.
Yeah, you addressed it actually very well. The other question I was going to ask, and you addressed it in that answer, was the issues around water, because that seemed to be another significant feature of the proposed mining regulations, was that they're wanting to protect water and water rights a lot more effectively, and your dry tailings and the recycled water that you talked about would probably meet those requirements quite nicely. So there really shouldn't be any permitting issues for this project going forward, regardless of mining regulation changes.
I would hope not. One never knows. But we feel that we're in a good position to adhere to updates to the environmental code. We have also spent a significant amount of time in social engagement with the local ejido, which control the surface rights to the project. We are currently operating under 20-year land access agreements for exploration purposes with the ejido. We meet with them at least twice a year. Whenever a new council gets elected, we bring them up onto the property, show them what we're doing, and we make sure that certainly, for Southern Silver, the face of Southern Silver in Mexico is Mexican. Our project manager and geologist are Mexican nationals. One of them from the city of Durango. Our geotechnical crew are all from the town of Guadalupe, Victoria. Our offices are in the town of Guadalupe, Victoria, and we rent out several warehouses throughout the town to act as our core shack and for core storage. And so in this way, we believe that we're making the efforts to integrate ourselves within the town and to engage appropriately, not only with the ejido, but with all the local population throughout the town.
Has anyone measured the economic effect of you guys actually opening a mine there?
We're in the process of putting that together. We're looking at least 220 both permanent and part-time jobs is what the estimate is right now. The state taxes are hundreds of millions of, or no, I shouldn't say the state, but the taxes, both federal and state, would be hundreds of millions of dollars going into both the local and the federal coffers. So when you bring a large scale project like the Cerro Lss Minitas project into production, that it is going to have a significant impact to the local communities and even further and further afield.
It's got to be exciting for the people in that area to see progress being made and the potential of future jobs. Now, you were mentioning you're going to be filing a technical report later this week. After that's filed, what are the next steps and stages for Cerro Lss Minitas, and where does the company go from here?
Yes, we'll be filing the report in the coming days. It's going well. We're just getting the last picking the last nits, shall we say, on that document. What we plan to do in the meantime, I guess we now that we'll have the report, there'll be a series of recommendations. We'll compile them and discuss with the executive and report to the board and sort out a full path forward, through the balance of 2024 and into 2025. Much of that will be focused on continued de-risking of the project, meaning that there's sort of a number of baseline studies that we should be doing, that we would like to pursue, and all of these things that are going to be required to bring the project into production, and things that would be required to run the project through a full feasibility study, etc. So there's those sorts of things that we would like to do. A series of technical studies to assist in the initial drill targeting. We've completed that. We've identified around 25,000 meters of drilling that can be done to extend mineralization on the eastern and northern parts of the Cerro. Historic work in these areas had only drilled down to around 450 meters below surface. Whereas mineralization on the western side of the Cerro extends to depths of up to 1 kilometer below surface. So we believe that there are some areas that we can drill to continue expanding the mineral resources and maybe get the project up to around a 40 million ton resource from where it currently sits at around 36 million tons. And so we want to do that, as well as continue with some of the technical baseline environmental and hydrogeology studies that are required to move the project, and environmental studies that are required to move the project through the feasibility stage.
Exciting times for the company indeed. If people wish to continue to follow this story and see how everything is rolling out, how would they do so, Robert?
You can go on to our website at www.southernsilverexploration.com, and you'll find the latest updates. We'll post the technical report, as well as the latest presentations, and people can follow us there.
Perfect. Thanks very much for your time, and I look forward to watching this progress. The fact that there's still mineralization that could be added into this, and economics to be improved is exciting. I don't think this story is anywhere near from being finished. So until we talk again next, thanks for your time, Robert.
Excellent. Thank you very much for having me on, Michael. Take care.
Southern Silver Exploration is a paid sponsor of the Prospector News. The host owns shares in Southern Silver Exploration, bought at the market for investment purposes. The Prospector News podcast is for educational purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are not to be taken as investment advice. Listeners need to do their own due diligence and seek advice of a licensed investment advisor.